Hey, this is Jim from SAP Cookbook and Breaking into SAP. The last time we were talking about ethos, identity, and how you need to ground yourself in a very visceral manner when you're interviewing by talking about your identity in a way that connects with your interviewer, talking about where you're from, your family structure, things you like to do, things that everybody can identify, restaurants you've eaten at, things like this, stuff that everybody can identify with. The next piece of that is logos and logic. And this one's a little more tricky because in addition to things that everybody can understand, ethos it's a little more emotional and it's something that's universal. Unlike that, logic gets really into the nuts and bolts, and this is your opportunity to educate and to teach your interviewer something about SAP, and it's your opportunity to convey that you really know something specific about SAP. The problem with giving specific information about SAP to an interviewer is that people learn differently and people understand the world differently. So if you just say give your interviewer a procedural explanation about SAP or a step-by-step list of things you know about SAP, that will only kind of address one particular type of individual. But to make this more clear, what I'm talking about is I've developed a framework of all the different types of people or learning styles. That's really the only way to understand this. It's sort of a learning styles framework for people working in information technology. Let me just jump right into it so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Some people, when you're talking to them, they need to know why. Okay, I call these the why types. They need to be motivated, and they need to understand sort of the emotional benefits associated with what you're trying to convey. And so, as an example, I might tell a why person, you need to hire me to work on your SRM, or you need to hire me to manage your SRM project because I'm really good at mitigating risks, okay? I understand the software very well, and I'm very good at mitigating all the risks, and so you'll never look bad, okay, if you hire me. That's an emotional benefit. That's a why, about why to hire me. Another type of learner is a what, or a what learner. People that they need to understand the theory, history, and sort of philosophy of things. And you might actually, while I'm talking about these, you might think about what kind of person you are. Are you more of a why person that needs to be motivated before you understand something, or are you a person that is more focused on understanding the theory and the history or the philosophy? So, the theory people, if you're talking to SAP hiring managers about theory, they want to understand, I would say, well, the organization plan has been around for a very long time. SRM started in the year 2003. It was very clunky, and you were afraid to change anything in the org plan way back then. And what you need to understand, the general philosophy of SRM is that it's a role-driven software. Everything relies on the org plan. So as you're approaching your project, it's very just important to understand the history, where the org plan has been, and the philosophy behind how to work in the org plan. So this is kind of a what explanation that you're going to need to come up with. And okay, so the next type of learner is the how, a how learner. And they need to know how to get something done. They like to see a list of action steps or lists of procedures. And so this person, they want to hear things like an orderly step-by-step list. Okay, well, so to address that, you would say something like, well, when you're getting started with SRM, there's about 5 things you need to really concern yourself about. You have users and roles, you have the org plan, you have shopping carts, you have the auction and bidding engine, and then maybe some people start to talk about approvals. These are, I'm just coming up with, off the top of my head, a list of things, right? Those lists don't bear very much significance to the reality, but you could get the idea. You need lists and action steps. Oh, to configure well, to first go to SPRO, and then you examine this checkbox and this list thing and that other button and that stuff and this other thing and stuff, and you have a list. Okay. The last sort of learning style is what if. Okay. These are people who want to put something into action right now. Okay. So I don't care about all this other stuff. I just want to see it in action. I want to see it work, and then I can understand what this thing is and how it works and why and wherefore and this kind of thing. So this is a little tricky, but the what if, the action people, the what ifs, you can talk to them and you can communicate them best by talking in terms of like a prototype, or, okay, well, I can be there Monday, and you know what, it only takes me 2 days to put a prototype together with this, and I can get it working right away, so you can just, I just find it's better to just give this a try. And that's how you talk to the what if people. So, okay, so we have why, who wants to be motivated, they want emotional benefits. You have the what, you have the how, and the what if. Now, I think, and these are the ways that you can talk to people, talk to SAP interviewers, and just think about it this way. Why not hit all 4 of them? So, and let me just give you an example. I'll start off with why, then I'll talk about what, then I'll address the how learners, and then I'll talk about the what, and then I'll address the what ifs. Okay, so we're working in SRM because now more than ever companies need to save money, and SRM offers a very tangible solution in saving your company money. Just at my last client, they saved over $1 million just by looking at bringing all their spend under management. Okay, so that's the why. Of course, SRM has been around since 2003. They had some difficulties with the org plan at the beginning. The software has now matured, and the org plan is in its like 2nd or 3rd incarnation. And philosophically speaking, SRM is a role-driven piece of software. So you have to be very careful about how and if you take the time to get your roles sorted out at the beginning, then at the end you'll have a much better time. Okay, that was the what. Now, as you embark on your SRM implementation, you're going to really concern yourself with planning out a set of steps. So there's basically 5 steps to every implementation. You need to talk about self-service procurement, operational procurement, approvals. You need to look at bids and auctioning, and then again, you have to do implementation testing, and go live. These steps are arbitrary, but you get the point. That was addressing the how people. Now, finally, the what if. Okay, so if you can bring me out of the project, one of the coolest things that I like to do is I can get a prototype up and running for you in like 3 days, so that once you can see the software, you can feel it, and you can get it in your hands. I think that's and I even have access to a demo system, and I've got some presentations from previous clients. And if you can get me there, I can get started on this right away, and you can actually see and hear and feel and touch the software. And I think that's going to put you in a much better position. So, okay, so what I just ran through is an extremely persuasive interview. You have, and by the way, you started off talking about your ethos, right? So now in our interview, we've identified ourselves in a visceral manner with the person. So they know who we are, and then we know that they can connect with us. And what you can do is then move on to the logos and communicate with the why, what, how, and what if learners. And so now you've definitely communicated with somebody on that level. Now there's one final means of persuasion that you can use in your SAP interviews. I'm going to get to that in my next video. And so I hope you found this stuff really useful. I know I use it all the time, and I never am without SAP work. So the proof is kind of in the pudding here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to the next couple of videos. I'm going to go over the last means of persuasion, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about breaking into SAP, which I'm going to open up next week. So I'm really excited about that. Give another batch of students an opportunity to learn how to get a job in SAP. So with that, I wish you well. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the other side.